infiltrating an island fortress to stop a disaffected military unit from unleashing a horrific weapon on the world in their mutiny. Sounds familiar.
Metal Gear. It can't be.
Nah, not this time.
Welcome to the Rock.
Ed Harris plays General Francis X. Hummel, who's real pissed off that a bunch of soldiers have died under his command on clandestine missions, and the families haven't even been told the truth, let alone compensated. He decides to go rogue, steals a bunch of chemical weapons, holds a tour group on Alcatraz hostage, and then holds the city of San Francisco to ransom until the government admits responsibility and compensates the families. Now, of course, the government ain't having none of this, so they get together a team of Navy SEALs led by Michael Biehn, and also an FBI chemical weapons expert, Stanley Goodspeed, played by Nicolas Cage.
Well, I'm Stanley Goodspeed.
But of course you are.
Of course, they need an Alcatraz expert, so they turn to the one man who escaped the Rock, a man who officially doesn't even exist. A British agent captured and disavowed 30 years ago, who spent those years in the highest security prisons in the US. Sean Connery's John Mason. It's John Mason, it's not James Bond. It's definitely John Mason. So off they go to the Rock to save the day, and that's kind of it. There isn't really a whole lot more to it. Just go watch it.
Key? What do you mean?
Look, this movie's far from perfect. It is, however, hands down, the best movie Michael Bay has ever made. Of course, it's still a Michael Bay movie, so it suffers from his various bad habits. Inconsistent visual storytelling, overactive cameras, choppy editing, and some characters, particularly minority characters, falling into some unfortunate stereotypes.
Damn! Stop! Where's that son of a bitch at? I'm gonna hunt him down! That motherfucker ain't safe nowhere!
That said, this movie definitely has those elements in their most restrained form. It's also the only Michael Bay movie to have a certified fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, for whatever that's worth. I mean, not much, apparently. People keep seeing those fucking Transformers movies.
I want my fucking money!
This film differs from most Michael Bay projects by having a really, really solid script. Now, aside from David Weisberg, Donald Cook, and Mark Rosner's work, Aaron Sorkin and Quentin Tarantino worked uncredited on later drafts of the movie. And instead of a too many cooks situation, what you actually get is a really great core story with some interesting themes around the worth of soldiers' lives and the responsibility of the governments in warfare to honour their sacrifice. And that's further bolstered by, a knowing tone that makes the drama land, but can have a lighter touch in action sequences, and no fear of the ridiculous, along with some, really witty dialogue.
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell? I only ask because in our current situation, well, it could prove to be useful information. Maybe!
Now, all of this is sold by a great cast led by Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. Now, Connery's Connery. There's not much more to say about him other than he attacks the material with aplomb, and he brings his usual charm and charisma with a twist of modern sarcasm.
Yes, perfectly okay, you fucking idiot.
For Cage, this, along with Face Off, was his push into action hero territory, and he's great in this. It's grade A prime Nick Cage. He's watchable, charismatic, funny, engaging. A lot of his funnier dialogue was improvised on set, and it really helps the movie sell the lighter touch moments without sending up the serious beats. And he's an actor who's rarely boring, if not always good. But it's just fun to see him twist normal sounding sentences with deliveries that no other actor would chance.
How do you know? How do you know?
Ed Harris is wonderful, as always, as General Hummel. He brings a stone-cold conviction to the part, which he allows to crack as the plan begins to fall apart. And Michael Bihn's turn as the Navy SEAL commander is brief, but enjoyable as always. It's actually his third role as a Navy SEAL, funnily enough. And they both get to have a great macho-off contest.
Room, Commander!
God
damn it, Commander, one last time. You tell your men to safety their weapons, drop them on the deck.
I cannot give that order!
I am not going to repeat that order!
I will not give that order!
What the hell is wrong with you, man?
Stand fast!
Surrounding them, you've got Tony Todd's Captain Darrow being typically menacing, along with Gregory Sporleader's completely unhinged Captain Fry. You've also got David Morse backing up Ed Harris admirably as the General's second-in-command, Major Baxter.
You're talking to a general, soldier. Maintain discipline.
I'm not a soldier, Major.
You know, there's a whole cavalcade of great actors in this. The only real downside to the casting is the lack of any really decent female characters. Vanessa Marcil is really enjoyable as Goodspeed's girlfriend Carla, but gets precisely shit all to do, except be a motivation. A pregnant motivation. Likewise, Claire Filani plays Mason's estranged daughter Jade, but serves no purpose as anything other than a motivation. This movie is as testosterone-filled as it gets without being an all-male cast. I mean, it might as well be an all-male cast. And that's, you know, a bit of a problem. But personally for me, not a deal breaker.
Is that all you're going to say?
As an action movie, The Rock delivers spectacularly. The gunfights have real weight and impact, all shattering masonry and frantic bursts of firing. There's plenty of tension on offer. Goodspeed and Mason are on this downward spiral of peril throughout. There's a fantastic car chase through the streets of San Francisco early on. And the film opens with the infiltration of a weapons facility that just looks really, really cool. I mean, the whole movie looks really, really cool. It's just one of those movies.
Wow.
It helps that the effects have all aged really well. There's some spectacular effects in this, and I didn't notice any moments when I was watching it that were cringeworthy. And I mean, that's to be expected. This movie came out in 1996 before everything was all CGI all the time, and it aged faster than milk left out in the sun. Speaking of which, it is fucking boiling. Murder for an iced latte right now. All of this is wrapped up in a great score by Hans Zimmer and Harry Gregson Williams, who are both composers who are great at doing epic, triumphant, huge scores. So, of course, this movie sounds doubly epic, huge, and triumphant. It's no surprise that it sounds great, really. And although I was joking at the top of this video, this movie really does put me in mind of Metal Gear Solid for some reason. Somewhere in an alternate universe, Michael Bay was hired to make an adaptation of Metal Gear Solid with a David Hayter script and Kurt Russell playing Snake. A man can dream. But do not dream about this movie. Sure, it's problematic. There's elements of jingoism, but I think that's tempered by the way it approaches the sacrifices that soldiers make, and there's an element of blame to the government in sending them places that they shouldn't be. But, you know, problems aside, it's a really enjoyable romp. A great fun time, great action, great cast, good script, great dialogue. Just do yourself a favour. Go watch The Rock. It's rocking. Fuck, I actually said that. I actually just said that. Terrible. So that's it for another Big Damn Love. Thank you for watching. What did you think of The Rock? Let us know below. If you do want to get in touch, you can also get us at BigDamnCast on Twitter or BigDamnContact@gmail.com. Please subscribe below for more content. You get the Big Damn Cast every Friday, and there may be something a little new coming soon from me as well. Keep your eyes peeled, folks. I'll see you soon. Bye.
I don't like soft ass shit.
Oh, you know. Well, I only bring it up because, it's you. You're the Rocket Man.